Hello, and welcome to Rumor, where we do a deep dive into the mysteries and conspiracies that plague our minds. I am your host, FJ.
And I am your co-host, DJ.
So grab your tinfoil hats, because today we are going over different conspiracy theories and some that just happen to be unbelievable but true. Let's get to the bottom of what's real, what's ridiculous, and what's just plain mind-blowing. This is Rumor. First of all, DJ, are you familiar with the tinfoil hat? Do you know what that stands for?
Not really, but I remember when I was younger seeing the movie Signs, where they wore a tinfoil hat. I don't know if you've seen it, if you're familiar with it, where there was like aliens coming. So the tinfoil hat was to pick up signal or so they didn't detect you.
So that's interesting. I didn't know anything about the tinfoil hat, but I do know it is the standard. So when you say that somebody has a tinfoil hat on, you know they're talking about a conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay.
So the background is in the 1920s, the world was buzzing with new scientific discoveries and a rising fascination with the unknown. Julian Huxley's sci-fi tale comes out called The Tissue Culture King, where characters shield their minds from telepathic control using metal hats. So little did Huxley know this quirky concept would spark debates of fascination, fear, and now memes. The humble tinfoil hat became a shield against mind control, alien signals, and a universal sign for conspiracy theories. So you were right, actually. So that has gone down in history as a universal sign for conspiracy theories. So in the spirit of conspiracy theories, we are going to today be outlining a few in a game I like to call Truth or Tinfoil. Now, this is all new to you, DJ. You don't know what I'm about to show you. So this is actually in the spirit of the game. You have no idea. I want you to guess if you think something is the truth or if it's just a conspiracy theory that's still out there. Are you ready?
I like it. Let's do it.
Okay. Here we go. Something called Operation Northwoods. And the theory is the U.S. government planned false flag attacks to justify war with Cuba. Truth or tinfoil?
Well, I don't know. I have to...
Take a guess. Do you think the government would plant false attacks to justify a war?
Yes. Truth.
So this actually was true. There's declassified documents that reveal that in 1962, the Joint Chiefs of Staff proposed staging fake terrorist attacks, including sinking U.S. ships and hijacking planes to blame Cuba and gain support for military action. President Kennedy rejected the plan. So this was true.
Okay.
All right, that was just like a warmer. Here we go. The CIA's heart attack gun. The theory is the CIA developed a gun that could cause heart attacks. Truth or tinfoil?
I have to say tinfoil. Yeah, I have to say, for a short answer, I have to say tinfoil because if they were going to cause heart attacks, I think they would find a more creative way instead of using a gun to do it. So that's my reasoning behind it.
This was proven to be true.
Really?
During a 1975 congressional hearing, it was revealed that the CIA had created a weapon that fired a dart coated with a toxin, which would induce a heart attack, leaving virtually no trace.
Oh shit! All right.
That was true.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to throw in a few easy ones in here. The theory: the Earth is a flat disc rather than a sphere.
Okay, that's fake.
Yeah.
Tinfoil.
So that one definitely, so far, and I don't want to say it's fake. We're going to say it's tinfoil. It's a conspiracy.
It's a tinfoil, yeah.
Because there's extensive scientific evidence. There's satellite imagery, gravity measurements, circumnavigation. Everything just proves the Earth is round. But there are people who present some evidence that say it may be real. So all the ones that are going to be the tinfoils, we're going to be exploring in future episodes. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
All right, next one. The theory is the Dalai Lama received funding from the CIA.
I have to say tinfoil for this one.
Actually, it is true. Declassified documents showed that the CIA paid the Dalai Lama and his Tibetan exile group in the 1960s as part of a program to undermine China.
Okay.
So there goes the government again, inciting some violence and some separation. Next one, the theory. The government added poison to industrial alcohol to discourage illegal drinking during Prohibition. Truth or tinfoil?
Truth to that one.
That is true. During Prohibition, the U.S. government mandated adding toxins and chemicals to industrial alcohol to make it undrinkable, leading to thousands of deaths when people consumed it.
What was the reason behind it? So people didn't drink?
So during Prohibition, alcohol was made illegal. So in order to have people stop drinking, one of the methods, I guess, is the U.S. government added toxic chemicals to the alcohol.
All right.
That's where we saw the rise of speakeasies and these illegal, people creating moonshine. We've seen all the movies and history on it.
All right. That might be a cool episode for us to talk about in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. All of these are really interesting topics. I think we should go down the rabbit hole with all of these. All right, next one. Theory. The trails left by airplanes are chemicals sprayed to control the population or environment.
Tinfoil.
That is tinfoil. So the truth, what we're calling the truth here is that what they're calling chemtrails are actually contrails, which consists of water vapor and ice crystals formed when airplanes' exhaust meets cold air. Now you fly, so does that sound correct?
That does sound correct.
Now that was an easy one for you. There have been some cases where the government has illegally brought in toxic chemicals to a controlled group, so it's not so far off as being a conspiracy theory. I think this is one we should look at in future episodes. The theory. World leaders meet secretly in the woods to perform strange rituals. Truth or tinfoil? The theory. World leaders meet secretly in the woods to perform strange rituals. Truth or tinfoil?
Tinfoil.
The Bohemian Grove is a real annual retreat in California where influential men, including politicians and businessmen, meet repeatedly to engage in bizarre ceremonies, including the cremation of care ritual. The next theory. The Denver International Airport is a hub for the Illuminati, complete with underground bunkers. Truth or tinfoil?
I want to say tinfoil, but I'm kind of I've never thought about this before until you mention it right now, so I'm going to go with truth on this one.
This one's actually tinfoil.
Ha!
While the airport does have unusual artwork, very odd artwork all around it, and there's no credible evidence, really, that the existence of secret bunkers or Illuminati connections are there. A lot of people have been speculating about a lot of weird things happening, so this is another one of those that it's currently tinfoil, but may be truth later on.
Like I said, I've never thought about it until you said it right now, and the way you said it, it made me think that it could possibly be truth. But yeah, all right.
Well, a lot of these things you never think that they were real, but they are. That's kind of what makes it interesting. They all seem like they should be fake.
Doing this show, the information that we find is so interesting. So I hope that our listeners find it as exciting as we do. But I love doing the research that we do to find all the information that we do on these conspiracy theories and the rumors out there.
The truth. The Church of Scientology infiltrated the U.S. government to remove damaging records. Truth or tinfoil?
What is the Church of what?
So the Church of Scientology is technically a religion. It's the one that, what's the Top Gun actor? What's his name? The guy that flies the planes? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
So Tom Cruise is part of the Church of Scientology, and it's technically it's a type of religion. It's kind of more like
I
a
should
cult.
know this, but again, what is the Church of Scientology?
It's a type of religion. It's like Christianity. And this is, supposedly they have their hands in a lot of, again, I don't know too much about it. I didn't do research on each topic, but I know that they have their hand in a lot of celebrity and higher ups type people in the industries. And the theory is that the Church of Scientology, so this religious group, infiltrated the United States government to remove damaging records.
I don't know much about this topic, FJ, so I'm going to say tinfoil.
This is actually true. In the 1970s, Scientologists carried out the largest ever infiltration of the U.S. government, stealing and destroying records from over 136 agencies. It was called Operation Snow White.
Okay, very interesting.
All right, this one's a fun one. The theory: the CIA tested drugs and psychological manipulation techniques on humans. Truth or tinfoil?
Truth, 100%.
This is true. MK Ultra was the experiments that they conducted. It was called MK Ultra, and they included dosing unsuspecting people with LSD and testing mind control techniques in bizarre and unethical ways. So one of the most notable people who was under the MK Ultra experiments was Charles Manson. And there's a great book that talks about this. And again, we're going to go over this MK Ultra in a future episode, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But the theory is that it all starts from these individuals. It's not just Charles Manson. There's a bunch that end up going to jail and coming out of jail and being controlled through this MK Ultra experiment into committing these crazy murders. So the CIA at this point was testing if it could control people and mind control in particular. And they have found that LSD was one of the ways to control people's minds. Very interesting. It's something we definitely have to look into in a future episode.
Very interesting. I don't know how you can control people's minds, so I'd definitely like to know more. It seems like an interesting topic.
All right. This next one's a pretty easy one. The theory is that Barack Obama was born in Kenya and was not eligible to be president. Truth or tinfoil?
Okay, there's like so many talks back and forth about this one, but he did become president, and for something like that to slip the American government, very unlikely. Although, I don't know, so I'm gonna have to say true for this one. When I say true, meaning that he was born in America, not Kenya.
So the background on this is a very interesting one again, because it is tinfoil. It's conspiracy theory. They're called the birthers, the ones that believe that Barack Obama was not born in the United States. When you look back into the run of Donald Trump, this was back when Barack Obama was running for his second term. He was one of the first people that called out Barack Obama for not being born in the United States. And this theory all started from before Barack Obama got into politics. He was writing a book, and he was in a series of within a few writers. They were publishing kind of these small written paragraphs for each writer that they were publishing. And the publishing house happened to say that he was born in Kenya. This came out, right? And they said that, oh, well, that was just a mistake. So once that mistake came out, now people were wondering, where's the birth certificate for Barack Obama? So Donald Trump was calling him out, telling him to release his birth certificate, which he did. There was an official birth certificate release from Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed that he was born in the United States. But this is where conspiracy theories come along. They released it as an official document. People have been playing with the PDF, and it shows that it's been altered. It shows that you can move around. There's almost like two documents on top of each other. There's text that's been edited. And it also was proven that it was a almost direct copy of another person that was born in Hawaii, and they found that birth certificate. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this one, because there's obviously he must be born in the U.S. to become U.S. president, but there's just some discrepancies that are not explained enough.
We should definitely have a episode on this one for sure.
Well, let me tell you something else about this that was really interesting, and I'll let it go after this because we have to move on. The woman that certified the birth certificate that was released by the White House, I think her name was Loretta Fuddy from Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
She happened to die in a freak accident where her plane fell into the Pacific Ocean and everybody survived except her.
Huh.
And she, instead of having a normal what do you call this that they wear?
Life jacket, like inflatable.
So instead of having a normal inflatable life jacket, she had a child's life jacket placed under her seat. And just to throw another wrench, that's not why she died. She died from a heart attack in the water, and everybody else survived. So there's a lot of little fishy things.
Well, that brings us back to the heart attack gun.
I mean, who knows? All right, let's move on. The next theory. The U.S. government used psychic spies during the Cold War. Truth or tinfoil?
Truth, of course.
That is true. The CIA and the Army funded remote viewing experiments attempting to train individuals to psychically gather intelligence. Though it sounds absurd, the program lasted over 20 years. It was called Project Stargate.
There is so many movies on this, FJ, that has to be true.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was movies on this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I stumped you on that one. All right, next one. The theory. A Washington, D.C. pizzeria was the center of a child trafficking ring linked to prominent politicians. Truth or tinfoil?
I want to say tinfoil, but there's a lot of fucked up shit out there, so you know what? I'm still going to stick with tinfoil. You tell me what you have.
So this is tinfoil.
Good.
No evidence, no quote evidence has been found to support the claim. And it was based on wild interpretations of hacked emails that led to dangerous real-world incidents where someone tried to investigate with a gun. So people got a little crazy. There were some emails leaked on the internet that made people think that this was real. I mean, if you look at them, again, this is why these conspiracy theories are so fun, because there's evidence that prove that it may be, and there's evidence that proves that it's not. So this is an interesting one. I think we should definitely look into this. But as of right now, it is still tinfoil, so that's correct.
Good. I'm glad. But everything that comes up, all these conspiracy theories, is because people don't just come up with this stuff in their dreams. You know, something must have happened to trigger somebody to think, or spread a rumor about something. So all conspiracy theories, they all have some truth to it, I think.
Okay. Next theory. The U.S. government secretly studies UFOs. Truth or tinfoil?
Truth. Area 51.
In 2017, that's truth. In 2017, the Pentagon confirmed the existence of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which investigates UFO sightings and phenomena. And then Area 51 has not been said to be an alien headquarters or to have aliens. That's never been released. That's still a conspiracy theories, but the truth is that there is a program which studies UFO sightings. So this is truth. They are studying UFOs in that sense. The rest is still tinfoil.
Okay.
All right, next one. The theory is a pharmaceutical company knowingly sold HIV-contaminated products. Truth or tinfoil?
Tinfoil.
This is actually truth. It was called the Bayer HIV scandal. In the 1980s, Bayer sold a blood clotting medicine for hemophiliacs contaminated with HIV. After it was banned in the US, they continued selling it overseas.
That's messed up. And what was the medicine used for?
It was blood clotting medicine to help people who had problems with their blood clotting, to help them make their blood clot.
That's messed up.
All right. The next one is the theory is the U.S. government conducted unethical medical experiments on African American men. Truth or tinfoil?
I'm going to go with truth on this one.
So this is actually true. That's right. It's called the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. And it is from 1932 to 1972. The U.S. Public Health Service studied untreated syphilis in African American men in Alabama without their consent, withholding treatment even after penicillin became available. So they pretty much knew that these people had syphilis. They had a way to treat it, and they did not give it to them just so they could study to see what it did.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah. The theory is that childhood vaccines, particularly the MMR vaccine, cause autism. Truth or tinfoil?
The autism cases have been rising so much in the last few years, so I'm going to go with truth on this one.
So it's technically still considered a conspiracy theory. So that's incorrect. It's still tinfoil.
Okay.
And there's been a lot of large-scale studies that have not shown any link between vaccines and autism. But when you look at the data, I have to say there seems to be some truth in it, or something that's not being told to the public, because once the vaccine schedule got changed to include a lot more vaccines in early childhood, that's when the autism rates started to rise. And one thing that they can't explain is, why do unvaccinated children have a lot lower rate of autism than vaccinated children?
I mean, there's could be a couple of different explanations to that. So people that don't believe in vaccines, I would think that these are people that believe in all natural remedies, which means that they probably eat all natural food and, make everything from scratch. A big factor of autism, I think, is the food that we consume, and everything that's out there. It's processed food, and there's so many chemicals to extend the life, shelf life. So that could be a factor of it too. But yes, there have been a lot of increases in autism lately, and vaccine could definitely could potentially be one of them. It's a very interesting topic.
The first time I heard about autism rates, it was something like 1 in 200, and now it's like 1 in 30. It's just jumped to crazy amounts. So something is causing it that they don't know about why it's happening.
It is very true. You hear it so often now. It's so much more common. I mean, you talk to people that you know, and everybody knows somebody that has a child that, has either a light or severe or whatever the case might be, but there's autism somewhere. And so
It's on the spectrum.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Here's a theory. The Titanic disaster was orchestrated as part of an insurance scam, or to eliminate specific wealthy individuals. Truth or tinfoil?
I have this story has come across before, and I have read into it. It was a while ago, so I'm going to go with truth on this one.
So that's incorrect. It's still considered tinfoil, but I know what you're talking about, the stories. There's too many coincidences with the Titanic sinking. Too many people made some money on it. Too many people got some leverage on it for business purposes or for wealth purposes. So I think, again, this is one of those things I would love to get into, because it's still considered a conspiracy theory.
Now, I know a lot about this topic, so we'll talk about this on another episode. I would love to dig into it more.
You can talk about all the engineering on that ship.
Yes.
The next theory, the U.S. government fabricated an attack to justify entering the Vietnam War. Truth or tinfoil?
Truth.
That is true. Declassified documents confirm that the second Gulf of Tonkin attack in 1964 was misrepresented, fueling the escalation of the Vietnam War.
I believe that almost every war that starts, there's somebody that escalates it, or there's somebody that pushes for it. And all of the topics that we are talking about, I want to say truth to all of them, but some of them just seem too crazy to be truth. Yeah, keep going.
All right, next one. The theory is the CIA has influenced and controlled mainstream media to spread propaganda.
100% truth, and I don't even want any information on it. It's just my gut tells me it's so truth. And with the election that just happened, you gotta be, I don't know, asleep to not know that that's happening.
So technically, they still consider this, again, who is the mainstream media? They still consider this a conspiracy theory,
Of course.
although, so the CIA ran something called Operation Mockingbird. And what that does is that it is a way for the CIA to push out the information that they want to a large scale group of people. So through the mainstream media. Now, during the Cold War, there's declassified documents that show this. The CIA collaborated with journalists to shape public opinion, although it's not exactly clear if it still continues today. I'm saying it's not exactly clear, but it seems pretty clear that it continues today. And it was called Operation Mockingbird because what does a mockingbird do? It just repeats whatever you say to it.
FJ, have you seen during the election or even before that, actually, Joe Rogan has an episode on this where he shows all the media and they're all saying exactly this, and it's scary in a way, where they're saying exactly the same. It's like somebody gave him a script, or I mean, somebody had to give him a script because they sound exactly the same. All the words are identical, and you got all the mainstream medias the same. So somebody had to give him that script. So
yeah,
I have to say truth for this one, 100%. And
yeah, so I have seen that episode, and even their inflections in their voices sounds exactly the same. It's almost like rehearsed. They all say exactly the same thing.
And I mean, politicians like Kamala said it themselves, that they want to control, what they said, and that's one of the reasons that Elon Musk purchased Twitter or X, so that can give people the freedom of speech, so people can talk their mind. So with all the news that happens around the world, if you look on regular channels like news channels or Facebook, Instagram, you don't see anything. And then you go on X and you find all these things that you don't see anywhere else, which proves that theory. So again, truth on that one.
Okay. All right, next one. The theory is that President Nixon's administration was involved in a cover-up of illegal activities. Truth or tinfoil?
It could be truth, but I'm going to say tinfoil on this one.
So it was actually truth. Investigations revealed that Nixon's administration orchestrated the break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and attempted to cover it up, which led to Nixon's resignation. This is Watergate, what they call Watergate. It's very interesting. Actually, I've never looked into the Watergate scandal, but I'm actually really interested in looking into it because I don't actually know what happened. So I think if we can learn more about it, that could be a fun episode just to learn more about what caused. There's two sides to it, if he was at fault and if he wasn't. So I'd like to explore it. All right. Here's the theory. The U.S. government secretly sold arms to Iran and funded Nicaraguan rebels.
I'm going to go with truth.
That is the truth. In the 1980s, it was revealed that the Reagan administration sold weapons to Iran and used the proceeds to support Contra rebels in Nicaragua, bypassing congressional oversight. That's kind of scary.
Makes sense. Well, the government makes money with every war that's out there. So it makes sense.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Go for it.
Okay. The theory is the U.S. government secretly harvested body parts to study radiation effects. Truth or tinfoil?
What do you mean body parts?
Like the parts of people's bodies.
But when you say harvest them, like be a little bit more specific so I can understand.
Deceased bodies.
Oh, deceased body parts. All right. Yeah, I would say truth.
So I was trying to get you with it by saying body parts and not saying deceased. Uh, so that is true. During the 1950s, the US and UK governments conducted secret experiments using tissue samples from deceased individuals, including children, without permission.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
All right.
But yeah.
All right, next one and last one. And I leave this for last because this is going to be our next episode.
Right.
The theory is the 1969 Apollo 11 moon landing was staged by NASA.
Listen, I mean, this is a lovely topic, and I can't wait till we talk about it on our next episode. But my gut wants to say truth, right? But I've heard so many things, especially in the last year, that it could possibly be a tinfoil hat. So I'm not going to give you an answer on this one, and we'll talk about it on the next episode, and we'll find out for sure.
All right. Well, officially, it's tinfoil. It's never been proven to be true, although there is a lot of evidence. And I'm going to leave it at that because we're going to keep looking at this at a later episode, at the next episode. So that's it. How did you like the game, DJ?
I like it. It was very interesting, and all the topics were very interesting, which I think that they're good enough topics where we can have a different episode for each individual topic. So I really like this game. I think we should do this more often.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I learned a lot just from the research of it. I didn't know a lot of this stuff had happened. I knew about a few, which is why I wanted to do it. But learning from all the ones that I did learn about, I cannot believe some of them are real.
It just that means that we're living in a world where we don't know what's happening around us.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't mention is that the term conspiracy theory was coined during John F. Kennedy's assassination. It was after his assassination because a lot of people started to think it was an inside job. And although there's a lot of evidence for it, and we have yet to see if that is the truth because nothing is declassified, it is where the term conspiracy theory started. So if the term got started with something that was real, how fake can the other tinfoils or conspiracy theories really be? So I'm going to leave it at that. We hope that you join us for our next episode where we're going to look at the moon landing and to see if that was faked.
Yep, I look forward to going over that, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
All right, thanks for joining us. This is Rumored.